What's going on, guys? We're going live on a Friday night. I think this is the first time ever going live on a Friday night. Usually Sunday mornings, but I'm not going to be available this Sunday morning. Got some stuff going on. Free to take your start, sit questions. I'm going to be on here for a good bit, probably about an hour or so, chatting it up with you guys and just waiting for some people to roll in to the chat. Once you roll in here, tap that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Here to help you build your fantasy teams. Here to help talk some ball as well. But interesting week we got here with week 11. And looking at the matchups, looking at everything, looking at rankings and everything else. And just waiting for the chat to fill up. But one thing I want to share with you guys, I landed a new piece off eBay. And I got the Caleb Williams right here. The starting lineup, the custom, and I caught it for a deal. Got her for $5, and it's going right into the collection. Obviously, when you take the helmet off, it does not look like him. The head doesn't even move or anything. But whoever did this did decent work. Decent paint job on this. Nice and thick. And the helmet, too. Look how ghetto the helmet kind of looks, though. But it looks all right, right? Looks all right. Someone hand-painted that to get that in there. Only $5 though. Usually customs like this, $50, 60 or so. Usually I catch them online, but still, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, roll up with some questions if you got them. If not, I'll keep talking ball here. Ric Flair is right there watching you guys. Yeah, Mitchell didn't hit. He's a lottery ticket. You know what? I was thinking about him. And I was trying to figure out the best. There's Coco the dog. But the best way to describe him, I'm going to describe him as like a Rashid Shaheed running back, which is something you don't really get as a boom bust player whose boom is kind of likely. And, and then the downs are downs. That's what it is. The downs are downs and the booms are booms. And that's it. As a home run swing. And you can't fault anybody taking a home run swing on a player like that. When your back is against the wall and you got that one spot in your lineup, you want to shoot for upside, those are types of players you want to do that with. The guys that get you all or nothing. Start 3, Gibbs, Javonte, Connor, Charbonnet, and Algier. Gibbs for sure. That's one. Let's look at these backs. So we got 3, and they're all running backs. That makes things kind of easy there. So we got one already as Gibbs. Javonte, Connor, Charbonnet, Algier. Let's see what we got here. Let me log in. 14-man, 2 RB, and a flex, and 2 R. Okay, 14-man or 2. So that's a good core there for the depth of the league. I'm going to switch things to PPR real quick. Would you start McBride or Ferguson this week? Let me get to the first one. I'm finicky with tight ends. So let's look here. So Gibbs for sure. That's a Javonte 8 because you got Minnesota. So Javonte, Connor, and then you got Charbonnet. I think I'd definitely go Gibbs, Javonte, and Connor. That would be my 3. And then that would be the 3 I'd roll with here. For sure. For sure in that. Yeah. I would definitely do them over the other ones. Algier's on bye. That's why it wasn't pulling up for me, and I was thinking so. McBride and Ferguson, looking up those guys. Rico, hold on. I'm jumping around here. Let me look at McBride's 6, and you got Ferguson at 11 against Carolina. I think they're both great plays. That's the problem with this. I think you got good plays here at tight end with both of them. McBride's seen a lot of targets. I lean a little bit more towards McBride a little bit because he's getting a ton of target share right now, at least in that one game sample with Murray. And I like that. I like that a good bit. Ferguson's getting a lot of red zone looks. He's steady. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get something out of Ferguson. You know you're going to get like a 10 spot, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He ain't going to bust on you. But Trey McBride's got that huge upside as well. And it's the tight end position too, where it's very fluky. It's very up and down. And I like both players. I really do. I like both players. If you would have told me that, I like both of them. When I look at all these tight ends, I like both of them a lot. I'm an upside guy. I'm a gambler. I'd go with Trey McBride. But that's me. If you want to play it safe, because Ferguson's a safe tight end. He's a safe bet. If you want to play it safe, go Ferguson. I'm an upside guy. I'd go Trey McBride. That's how I would do it. Let's see. Start 2, Brian Robinson, Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones, or Monty. That's a good list of running backs. Wow. Okay. Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones, or Monty. Let's look this up. So, Kenneth first, 14. Montgomery, 21. Brian Robinson, 3. So, what we got? 2? Let me look at Kenneth. So if I had to pick here, and it's tight, for sure Brian Robinson, for sure, and then it's a toss-up between the other 3. It's a huge toss-up between the other 3. It could go either way with those guys, especially Monty in my gut and Walker. I keep looking at those guys. I feel safer with David Montgomery right now. I feel a little bit safer. But if your gut's feeling different with Kenneth Walker, I can't hate on that. 4 for 4 has Kenneth Walker ahead of Monty and Aaron Jones. I feel best with Monty, and they have Monty and Kenneth close together. So if that helps you out, I like the matchup with the Bears. Running backs are scoring on the Bears. Kenneth Walker's got the Rams. That Rams game, though, can be very explosive. Seattle's on the road. I like both players. I think they're both good. So I like Monty, but I can see going another way as well. Thoughts on Rico getting more carries? So I got a video coming out on Rico tomorrow. Rico and Pollard, and going over reading the body language and everything on Mike McCarthy. It sounds like he's set on stone, at least for now, for this very second, Tony Pollard being the guy in the backfield, from what it sounds like, and talking about wanting to get Rico more touches. So imagine that's going to be added in incrementally in this matchup with Carolina, but it's a good matchup for both running backs. Carolina has allowed 15 touchdowns to the running backs this year, 12 on the ground, the rest through the air. And these teams are getting the red zone on them, and they're using the running backs to score. I think both of them have promised this week. And from what I gather from reading tea leaves, if Pollard doesn't hit this week, if he doesn't live up to his upside, there's going to be major questions. There's going to be major questions on that on Tony Pollard. If he does not hit this week, if he does not go off in production, you're going to see Rico get some more carries, because he's supposed to rock on this team. He's supposed to rock in this matchup. So watch for that. Watch that matchup. See what happens there. And from what I gather, also I'm going to have the video out tomorrow. It's scheduled to come out 5 or so. I have the videos already done for tomorrow. I already got them posted and ready to roll, because I'm going to be traveling all weekend. So it'll be out. But it sounds like Pollard's the guy, especially going in this week. And this matchup is made for him to hit. It's made for Rico to hit as well. If Pollard does not play to expectations, I expect Rico to start getting more playing time. I expect there's going to be a lot of questions. There's already a lot of questions on the internet. You just search Tony Pollard and articles will pop up. I screen captured a couple. I had him last week. I see him this week, and more keeps coming up. And I saw on Twitter Cowboys fans comparing him to Felix Jones, that era. Not as a direct comparison like you would for draft prospects, but that era of running back where you're like waiting for him to come up, waiting for him to start doing his thing, and then it just didn't hit once he got the full workload. Hey, pulling pine. What is the next question here? So I answered on Rico. So Connor Flex or Brandon Cooks? My gut instantly went to Connor. I'm gonna look for you. I'm gonna check for the rankings. My gut instantly went to Connor. James Conner 54. Cooks 86. My gut instantly went to Connor, and they have Connor ranked at like 30 or so spots ahead of him. I think they're going to have to give Connor a ton of touches. They have to do that. They got to give him a ton of touches. He's an older running back, and he's already experienced injuries. Just feed him. Just feed him, give him touches, and invest in running back later. Just finish out the season, rolling with James Conner hard, and see what you can get out of him. That's what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. See what you can get out of this team. See what you can get out of James Conner. I think James Conner's safe, and I think he's good to roll with. So Jackson Taylor, start 3. Javonte Williams, Puka Nacua, Marquise Brown, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Ty Chandler. Puka, for sure, for me. Puka, I mean, you got Stafford back. I think I'm going to roll Puka I feel confident with Puka with Stafford back. Feel very good about that. Imagine underranked on their site. I believe they should rank him where prior to that injury. 93. Connor. You got Connor in there? You do not have Connor in there. That's Javonte Williams. So Javonte Williams and Puka. I could see that. Marquise Brown. DK. I'd go Javonte, Puka, and DK as my main 3. And then let's see if I can argue against myself here. DJ Moore. It's between DJ Moore and DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf's matchup's a little tighter. Moore's kind of got a little bit better matchup. I like that Matt Stafford's back. Seattle's on the road. Stafford's going to throw it. That's going to push Seattle to throw it. I mean, targets should be flowing. I like DK Metcalf. So those 3, Puka, Javonte, and Metcalf. That's what I would roll with. Playing Eckler and Jacobs for RBs. Playing Diggs and Sungod for wide receivers. Tight ends. Who do I flex? Hall, Dell, or McBride? Breece Hall, my gut went to him first. I'm going to double check. Breece Hall, 22. Dell, 62. I'm wrong with Breece Hall. Let me just see that matchup. That's the Bills, right? Yeah, that's the Bills. I remember seeing the presser there talking about getting Cook more involved. I just don't see that happening. You can use Hall in the passing game. Hall's safe, too. Hall's very safe. However, Noah Brown's going to be out for the Texans game. And Nico Collins looks like he's practicing a little bit, so he might be in or out. I like Hall. I think Hall's the safe bet. Dell's got tons of upside, though. I think Dell's almost safe, too. They got Dell really underranked here, especially with Noah Brown out. I mean, Nico Collins is going to be in. I kind of like the matchup there. They've got Arizona. Hall and Dell ahead of McBride for sure. I think Hall's going to be safe. Hall's going to be super safe. If you want to shoot for the home run, Dell. If you want to play it safe, Hall. I think I'd roll Hall. I think he's still got that upside. Also, you think Thielen a safe play against Dallas? I think Thielen's still going to get a lot of touches. I think he's good to score enough to get you by maybe like a 10 spot. And I think he can get you a little bit of upside. I mean, it's not like Carolina. The odds of them getting shut out to 0 is hard to do. They're going to score a little bit. That's going to give him an opportunity for a touchdown. I think he's going to get targets. I think he'll at least get, at the minimum, 5, probably get 6, 7, 8 targets in this game. There's probably going to be an opportune time in the back half of the game where he's going to get more targets in third, fourth quarter. As long as nothing weird happens, like they pull him out because it gets too out of hands or if he gets injured. But I feel like he's pretty safe. I feel like he's a safe wide receiver. I don't think he's going to really hit tremendous upside or anything. I just don't think that's in the cards. But I really think he's very safe in this matchup. I think he's going to be safe most weeks. There's obviously going to be volatility and hit on the low, but that's football. But I think those targets you can bank on. So where was I at? Rico playing. So here we go. Playing Eckler and Jacobs for running backs. Playing Diggs. Okay, I already got that one. Let's see. Thielen. Just traded Purdy and Kyren Williams for Schultz and Sutton. My T's are Andrews is out and Burrows is out. Got Mahomes playing RBs. Thoughts on the trade? I think that trade's fine. It's redraft, right? So redraft, and it's one QB. I'm taking it. Kyren Williams is going to be back. You don't know where you're going to be at when he's back anyways, and you need to patch that up. Other guess is what's on waiver wire at tight end, but I bet you the top dogs are gone, and you had to make that deal. I imagine, let's see, I bet you none of these top guys were on there. Looking at the tight ends, like Trey McBride probably was on there. He probably should have been scooped up. Jake Ferguson's probably gone. Evan Ingram. I think that's fine. And you already got a quarterback. Dealing quarterbacks is fine. It's good to have one quarterback in a one QB league and have your backup quarterback be on the waiver wire and play the matchups. If something happens to Mahomes, you're good with that. Plenty of running backs, so you're good to go there. And you got the patch up with Schultz. Schultz is getting targets. You got Noah Brown out this week, so I think it's okay. I think it's a good trade. I think it's a good value. You're patching up those holes, so I think you're all right. If Pollard doesn't this week, he's pulling pine for my rookie trio. Yeah, if Pollard doesn't hit this week, if Pollard gets 5 fantasy points, or if Pollard runs for less than 4 yards per carry, there's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of questions in media. Big D, there's going to be a lot going on there. And, I mean, the media is going to be fun. You're going to see some big stuff in the media. That's going to be fun to look. Thank you, Jackson Taylor. Thank you for watching. Thank you, JoJo. You sound good as well. Start Kincaid over Rashee Rice or Jerome Ford in my flex. Let's see. It's Kincaid or Jerome Ford. That's a tight one because you got the tight end in there. And he is getting target share like no other. Any other tight end, I'd be like, no. But it's Bills offense, but you got the Jets matchup here. I'm starting to get these matchups memorized. I'm getting to the point of the weekend. I haven't really hit the weekend where you start getting the over-unders memorized and you start getting the matchups memorized in the bye weeks. So what we got here? Kincaid, and we got Jerome Ford. That's that shit show game. We got, let's see here, Jerome Ford, Steelers, Browns, rookie quarterback. They got him at 89. We got Kincaid, 69 against the Jets. I think that's a big push between him and Kincaid. I think that's a huge push. I think Rashee Rice, talked about him today maybe. He's got a good matchup. I think he's a little bit risky, but he's got upside due to his touchdown ability. They like to use him around the red zone. I think you got a good trio here to mess around with. Kincaid and Jerome Ford. I feel like Jerome Ford's a safe play. He did well against the Steelers in week 2. He did really well. I remember that was the game Nick Chubb got hurt, and he came in and blew up, and we ran to the waiver wire that next day and wanted him really, really bad. Kincaid's been blowing up, getting targets. He's also a tight end in a tough matchup. I feel safest out of all three with Jerome Ford. If I'm looking at this and I need to be safe with this spot, I need to get by, and when I'm looking to put somebody in, I feel safest with Jerome Ford. Next, after that, upside-wise, that's a toss-up between Kincaid and Rice. I like Kincaid with the Bills. It's just calling my name right there. So if I want to shoot for the fences, maybe Kincaid due to them moving the ball well with the Bills. If you want to gamble Rice, but I feel very safe with Jerome Ford. I hope that answers it. Ty Chandler is being spoken about this week. Is he really worth starting? If Alexander Madison is out, Kincaid, depending on what you mean by worth starting and what's on your lineup, what's available to you, how you're hurting, how much you need to shoot for upside, because there is some gambles with him. But he did have a touchdown run called back last week. It was a 30-yarder. If he would have landed that, if that didn't get called back, he'd be talked up big time. He would be ranked a lot higher. He would be a lot more valuable. So all it was one call, and it would have changed things. You also got a good matchup here. Let me double check Alexander Madison real quick. Let me see what's up with him. Let's see what he's been up to. I think he's going to be out, but I've been watching the reports all week. I didn't check it today. It's questionable. If Alexander Madison is out, concussion is listed as questionable for Sunday. Madison departed last week's game. All right, so if Ty Chandler's in, he's probably giving you RB2-ish rankings value here, but he's got a tremendous upside because it is against Denver. It is worried poor QB play with the Browns defense. Well, I'll get to that one. I would say if Madison is out, you're going to see a fun matchup with Minnesota and Denver, with Minnesota on the road. Denver can throw on this team if they can with Sutton company. He's startable. I mean, 4-4 has him ranked at 24, making him a back-end RB2, which means he's startable either as like an RB2 or a flex option. And then I don't know if they got Madison being in baked into that. If Madison is in, he drops for me considerably because it's not like it's structural injury. So I could see that hampering the touch load. But if Madison's out touch-wise, if you're looking for touches and your starting for touches, Ty Chandler. Let's see. Filling my flex, I've got running back Warren Madison, running back Murray, or Ridley. So it's for me between Warren and Ridley. Madison, I'm worried about the concussion. Also, I'm not sure if he comes back how much of that's going to be a split or if he's going to go full go. What's up with James Cook? Because I'm getting a lot of Latavius Murray questions. I know he's a good it's against the Jets. Still, Jalen Warren in a weird matchup. I'll just call that matchup weird. And Ridley. Ridley's due to hit. Ridley's been off for a bit. I've seen people asking me if they could drop him, and that's a hard call to make. You'd have to, because in this offense, like it's any game with him, and it's off and on though. It's just not living up to expectations. You got a game against Tennessee. That's a pass funnel game usually. Ridley at 98, and then you got Warren 91 rankings. Warren did well against Cleveland in week 2, but it's the Browns defense still. The Browns defense can be very spotty against running backs, but that's the thing. He's getting touches. He's getting workload. I think it's a gamble between both those players. I like the matchup better for Ridley. I don't trust either running back. I don't trust the matchups for Warren, and I just don't trust the recent history for Ridley. But you got Tennessee here. Double check his health. Make sure nothing crazy going on with him. Remains play. Yeah. The week prior, before the bye week, he scored 14, and then he had a dry spell, scored 20. He's up and down. Those up games against Buffalo and then Pittsburgh, where you can throw the ball, pass funnel games. Those down games, San Francisco, Saints, Colts. I think I'd go Calvin Ridley, honestly. I think I feel a little safer with that. I think the volume's going to be there. Tennessee's a little bit of a pass funnel game. Like, you do not want to run on Tennessee. You kind of want to pass it on them, and a lot of teams do that. We saw that earlier in the season. Since then, it's kind of been a mixed bag, but teams tend to want to pass on them, and that's for a reason. They can move the ball a little bit more efficiently. I think Jacksonville's going to lean that way. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm still working through your guys' questions here. I'm having fun with you guys too. Let's see where I'm at. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. There's Kincaid question. Ty Chandler. There was the Ridley. Last question. Bang, bang, boogie. Is Justice Hill a safe drop in Rico or Chuba Hubbard versus Dallas? Yeah, Justice Hill's pretty much a safe drop here. He's competing with two other running backs now, and it looks like he's lowest one on the totem pole right now. Keaton Mitchell, they're answering questions about him left and right, and they're trying to figure out how to get him in the game. He was in the game before. I can't really comment on that, but he was getting touches before him. I think he's a pretty safe drop. And if he hits again, it's not like he's going to be on anybody's roster and probably pick him back up. Only way he would not be a safe drop, something happened to Gus Edwards or Keaton Mitchell, which they're Ravens running backs, and injuries happen to Ravens running backs or Ravens in general. That's just been historical thing throughout time. Gus Edwards has already been banged up once this year. Keaton Mitchell's been on IR and got banged up. J.K. Dobbins got hurt. We've had times where all the running backs got hurt on the Ravens and had to bring in jabronis. That's just kind of the nature. Rico or Chuba versus Dallas. So Chuba, let me double check. Chuba might be safer due to guaranteed touches, but they're kind of going to be nasty touches. Like, I'm not going to feel good about it. That's the thing about that. I want to see what 4 for 4 is very. Chuba's got 28. Then Rico, I think they're at 38. Yep, I got to memorize. Nope, that's not him. 39. Chuba's safer, guaranteed touches. Like, he's going to score something to get you by. Rico's got a little bit of upside, but it's not guaranteed because you don't know when the bulk of his touches are going to be. You don't know if he's going to get goal line work. You don't know if they're getting asked too many questions about Rico and they're saying, hey, we're going to prove a point and pound Pollard. Some coaches are finicky like that, and it's very situational. They might give Rico extra work in this game. There's a gamble there with Rico, but I still say due to the matchup, softness there, he's got a lot more upside. Chuba, it's going to be hard for him to hit that upside against this defense. It's going to be hard, but he's going to get touches. How many, don't know. It really depends on what happens with Dallas offense, too. If they get up early, Carolina's throwing the ball. Chuba to be safe because he's getting the workload. But if you really want to shoot for the fence, there may not be much of a point differential between them anyways when everything's said and done, even if Rico Dowdell doesn't even get money touches. That's the thing. It may not be much of a difference. So if you want to shoot for the home run with Rico, go ahead. Really depends on how you feel in your gut on that one. Man, I feel safe with Chuba. That's my initial feeling. I like shooting for upside. I feel like there's good upside with Rico over Chuba, but more upside than Chuba has. Thanks. So next is Shavon1107. Thanks. 10-man full PPR. Don't know anything about Sutton. Is he good? LOL. Let's see. I like him as a deep ball specialist. I like him. He's the air yards guy, man. Western Michigan. First rounder. Stud player. Thanks. 10-man league. So a 10-man league, you're shooting from our upside. I got Sun God, Ayuk, and Olave and Pittman at wide receivers. So I don't know how many you're starting there. Godwin, Ayuk's in a good matchup there as well. Let me double check this for you. Let me rank them for you. Sun God for sure. He's like number 1 or number 2 wide receiver there for the week entirely. And then you got Ayuk. Wide receiver 12. You got Tampa Bay. They're going to be throwing it. And then Olave. Those are my top 3, actually. I love Olave. Lave's out this week because Rashid Shaheed's out. That's a bye week. So Pittman, I don't think he's in either. So he's on bye. So you're looking at Sutton because you got 2 bye weeks here. The thing about Sutton is the matchup against Minnesota. The thing is, Sutton's a deep ball specialist. He gets a lot of air yards. What I like about that is that's a good matchup with Minnesota. Historically, they allow the deep ball. You can throw in Minnesota here. Denver's going to be throwing it. This could be a sneaky matchup where more fantasy contributors could be there in this game than expected. For a week to start Sutton, this would be the week for that. This would be the one for that. Miami D or Cleveland D? So Cleveland D against Pittsburgh. Miami D's got the Raiders. So you got 2 good situations there. And 4-4's got them back-to-back with the same amount projected. Let's see here. Maybe the Miami defense because you got that rookie quarterback. You got that rookie quarterback, and if the Dolphins get ahead, he might commit a lot of errors, get you some upside there. Where the Browns, they got the rookie quarterback in on the offensive side of the ball. That might create some chaos. There's some unknown there. I think I'd go Miami here. You got 2 good defenses. It's hard there. Either one, you got a good pick. Worried about, I think this is going with the other question about the Browns. Worried about quarterback play, hurts Browns defense. Yeah, that went through my mind. Yep, the quarterback play hurting the Browns defense, that's a very big possibility. That's a very big possibility there, especially when you know you got a rookie quarterback going up against the Dolphins here. And I don't know. I feel like when you got a rookie quarterback there, you got to figure out how to play catch up with that offense. I think I'd roll with that. Thank you, though. Thank you for watching. Great question. Thank you guys for watching. Next is Lockett is on the brink of not playing, so JSN on my roster along with Ty Chandler. Stevenson out. Also, Jalen Warren, Gabe Davis, and Deontay Johnson on bench. Oh, this is a big one. So Lockett is on the brink of not playing. Let me look at Lockett for you. Let's look at here. Tyler Lockett, apparently truly questionable. So we're paying attention to Lockett. So if Lockett plays, are you starting him first off? That's up to you. Ty Chandler is in a good matchup here, and that's if Madison is out. Jalen Warren, Gabe Davis, Deontay Johnson, and that's against the Browns. But the Browns have a rookie quarterback in. Deontay Johnson's target share makes him a little bit safer, but that Browns defense might hurt the upside there. That's the thing about that. That's my initial thought. Jackson Smith and Jigba's value, if Lockett's up, goes up a good bit. Just looking at the scoring of Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's a good handcuff to have for one of those Seattle wide receivers. Let's see, his last bit of scoring, 9 last week, but prior to that, 12, 16. You got the Rams game here with Stafford back. You can throw on Seattle. So it's a fine matchup there for him. But with Lockett out, imagine I'm going to use Bobo a little bit as well. But it's fine. I think Deontay Johnson, Chandler, it matters if Madison's in or out. Ty Chandler with a decent matchup too is pretty safe if he's starting. If he's in on there and he's not sharing with Madison. Let's see here. They got Jack Smith McJigba ranked pretty good there. And then Deontay at 75. It depends on how you want to play. I think Deontay Johnson is very safe. I think the target share pushing 30% over the last 3 weeks. I think he's going to give you at least something. He's going to get you by. He's not going to dud out on you. Gabe Davis has some upside. He's a splash play against the Jets. I would do him over Jalen Warren. And then I think Jackson Smith-Njigba is good to get you 10, 11, 12 spots. Ultimately, I feel the safest out of all those guys with Deontay Johnson. I think Ty Chandler is going to get some looks. I think he's next safest, and he's got a little bit of upside. But Deontay Johnson still's got some upside. I think you got a good question here. I think I would go Deontay Johnson. I would just put him in and just roll with it. And I'm worried about the matchup, obviously, because it'd be a no-brainer. But share wins out. It's safer because of that. I know the targets are going his way. But I can see it breaking with any of the other players, too. I can see Ty Chandler being the next safest due to being at the running back position and the volume. My question with that is whether or not Madison's going to be in there. Gabe Davis, tough matchup. If he brings in the touchdown, he's going to have that week. It's a lottery ticket, and he's boom bust. He could score you 20. He could do that. And then Jackson Smith-Njigba, he hasn't really went off yet. He's gotten you some fantasy points. He's had some 12 spots on there. He's done some things. I feel my safest with Deontay Johnson. Curtis Samuel, Zay Jones, Guyton. Is that Elijah Moore? First off, what's up with Zay Jones? I was looking him up earlier this week. Questionable. Okay, so we don't know if he's in or not. Limited in practice all week. Is official and questionable to suit up for week 11 against Titans. He's been out for a good bit. Last time he played was week 5 against Buffalo. Got 11 fantasy points. He scored 16 in week 1, 11 in week 5. He does get targeted a lot. Has a good relationship with Trevor Lawrence on the field. Guyton, Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel. Let me double check on Samuel here because he was on the mend for a bit. I feel the safest with Curtis Samuel. I feel the safest. Guyton is intriguing due to the Chargers offense. Keenan Allen's going to be in. He's going to be good to go. They've been spamming Keenan Allen. Quentin Johnston's been running a lot of routes and snaps, 80 to 90%. I feel the safest with Curtis Samuel. The thing about this is where the ball flies in Washington. They usually, once you see that box score, it's like this with the wide receivers. Terry McLaurin's the only safe one, but I feel the safest. Zay Jones could hit. I don't even know if he's going to be on the field. I don't even know how well they're going to scheme him up or anything like that. If I feel better about him on Sunday, then I may start him. But health-wise, I don't know right now. Right now on Friday, as of right now, Samuel. If I start feeling better about Zay Jones' health, Zay Jones, but I'm rolling Samuel. Tough problem to have, but start Goff or Kyler. That is a tough problem. That means a good problem. A quarterback, so if you whiff, you're not going to whiff too hard, especially with them being good. That's the thing about them. You're not going to whiff too hard on them. So let's see here. Goff is at 8. They got Murray at 10. Of course, they're going to be tight. You got Goff at Chicago, Murray against Houston. Both of them in great matchups. Both of them. I don't think either one of them you're going to be wrong. So I'm really just guessing here. I don't think you're going to be wrong with either of them, honestly. I'm leaning towards Kyler Murray due to the rushing production. We're seeing him run around pretty good. We saw that last week. He's very aggressive with the ball, and they're aggressive with him. I think we're going to see some great stuff out of that. I think Kyler Murray is going to be solid. I think Jared Goff's going to be solid. I think this is a great problem to have. One of them will probably hit their upside, another one will be all right. I think I'd roll Kyler Murray. I like that Houston matchup too. I could see Houston getting up there. I can see C.J. Stroud pushing it a bit. I can see this being a high-scoring game. I like that matchup. It's close. So if you feel different come Sunday morning or waking up tomorrow even and you want to go Goff, go ahead. If it was me, I'd go Kyler Murray. But That's right now, too. My gut could be different on Sunday, but that's a good problem to have. Jefferson going or no? Let's see. Let's check that news. Outside of like the basic news, when it comes to health stuff, it's hard to tell. Questionable for week 11. His list as questionable. President has been since designated for return. Injured early last week, and the team didn't activate him. It's going to be up in the air till Sunday morning, honestly. He's due to come back. He's due. He's been practicing. Okay, here's something here. Kevin O'Connell implied that Jefferson isn't likely to be available this week. Still Minnesota, so isn't likely to be available this week. Implied it, didn't say it, I guess. Still Minnesota will have until Saturday afternoon to get Jefferson back on the active roster ahead of Sunday's contest. If Jefferson misses his sixth consecutive game, the Vikings again will rely on. So the odds are saying, from what I've read there, that Jefferson's likely out. That's what that sounds like. Could be wrong. That could be misinformation from what I read. Likely out. Probably not going. Next was that CHB. Is that Chuba, Ty Chandler? Oh, wait, that's a different person. So Ty Chandler or James Cook? That's a good one. Let's double check these ranks here. Ty Chandler or James Cook here. Ty Chandler, 24. They're neck and neck. Both okay matchups here. Well, if Madison's in, it's definitely James Cook. Madison's out, and I probably would be rolling Chandler. I'd be rolling for that upside. I feel like they both have the same chances, and I feel like that Denver defense I'd like to roll on and see what I can do with. So Madison's out. If Madison's in, James Cook. Madison's out, I'm going Chandler. And I'm just seeing what's up with that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. I love answering your questions. I'm having a lot of fun. Thank you guys for the questions. I'm going to keep rolling, though. I have Monty and Gibbs. Should I start both? I'm 4-6. I don't see why not. I don't see why not. I look at Dave Montgomery, Chicago, Detroit. I look at this matchup. It's good for running backs. The Bears. Let's pull up for the scoring. I'm on a different computer here, so let's see what pulls up. So when it comes to allowing fantasy points to running backs, looking at the Bears, right? I'm getting things mixed up. You look at these matchups and answer a lot. Things get raveled. Bears against running backs right now, 17.5 points allowed per game in standard, and then in PPR, they're 10th in the league. 23.5 fantasy points allowed per game to running backs in PPR. That's to both running backs. Have they played them yet? They did not. So how many they have not allowed a 100-yard rusher yet. They've allowed 4 rushing touchdowns on the season. They allow a lot receiving to running backs. 60 balls caught, 615 yards, 5 touchdowns. Last 3 weeks, running backs have caught 20 balls, 217 yards, and a touchdown. Last 5, though, 29, 284, and 1. So bulk of that was like in the last few games. The running backs who scored 20 fantasy points on the Bears we're talking about what? Broncos, right? Bears. On the Bears. Aaron Jones, 26.7. Rachaad White, 21.3. And then we got that's in week 1 and 2. Then we have to go all the way down to week 8. Austin Eckler, 25.3, and that's it. They've only allowed 3 20-point games on the season. Think about this team, though. Both these running backs could pop off. I like Gibbs ahead of Monty due to what they're allowing in the receiving game. But you know this Detroit Lions team. We know this. They'll just intermittently work these running backs, let them get their opportunities, and let the cards lay. That's just how it works with this team. It is, but it's nothing wrong starting both running backs, especially if you don't have anybody really good at flex. Thank you for the super chat. $4.99. Thank you so much. You got a question down there? There we are. Played Andrews, need 3, 0.5 PPR. So we're at half PPR. So let me double check this. Let me get over here to the ranking side here. Answer you up. So 0.5 Henderson, Dell, Adams. Let's go over this stuff. Henderson, Dell, Adams, Nico, Chan. So I wonder if I should sit Adams. Adams. Devontae Adams. All right, next, there we go. Move that over. Devontae Adams, they got him ranked 39. You like McBride's upside, they got him ranked 77. The thing about Adams is the target share is so grand and the air yards is so grand too. Need 3 though. Should I sit Adams? So Henderson, Dell, Adams, Nico. Let me check Nico's health for you real quick because I just saw something that he's practicing. Looks like he's going to be in, but I want to double check. Has no injury. Doesn't. Nico's in, good to go. So let's see here. Achan's a big question because he's coming back from that knee injury. I don't want to say no on that. He's questionable. He's expected to return from injury after being limited in practice all week. He could return to the 1A role he took over before his injury, but is likely to remain some form of a committee with Mostert, which would make sense. And you got McBride. Let's see. I like McBride above Henderson. I like Dell. You have a good stack of players here. It's hard to sit Adams. It's very hard to want to sit Adams here, do that target share. So what I'm looking at here, you got Adams. You're looking for 3. You got Nico coming back in a good matchup. And Dell. So, and then you got Achan here. Achan's the home run swing for sure. So what I would roll. So if you want to sit Adams because you're worried about that he's in a good matchup though. He's got Miami on the road. They're going to be pushing that. I would start Adams. And then if you want to start McBride and you like his upside and you want to gamble with it, it's okay. There's a toss-up between Nico and Dell. And both of them could hit, and one of them could hit. And it's really how C.J. Stroud's feeling in that game. That's just how the Texans roll. That is really just how the Texans roll. C.J. Stroud doesn't care. And if you're a body, breathing air, running routes, he'll target you. I would pick one of them, if not both. But if you need 3, Achan, I would watch and see if he's starting. But if he's going to be in, I think he's going to be in. But he's a bit of a gamble because he could be sharing. But it's against the Raiders. So there's some upside there. So I definitely go I would start Adams. But if your gut's really against it and you want to put McBride in over it, go ahead. McBride's getting targets and stuff. But fundamentals says Adams, one of the Texans wide receivers. And then it's a push between Achan and McBride. And Achan, I'd feel sick to my stomach if I didn't start Achan and he hit. If I didn't start him and he hit. They got Achan ranked this week 40. They got him ranked right by Adams too. So they're feeling pretty good about Achan. Or how he says his name a bunch of different ways. So my 3 fundamentals says Adams, one of the Houston wide receivers, and then at McBride and Achan. But if your gut's rolling against either Achan or Adams, and you want to put in McBride, and you really want to, and you're feeling good about it, you can swap them with either one, Adams or Achan. I can't tell you which Texans wide receiver I think is going to hit. I think that's going to be a mixed bag. I think both of them have the potential to hit. Should you sit Adams? I don't think you have to or need to. I think the target share makes them a little bit safe. but I think I could see the downside with the rookie quarterback. And if you like McBride and that's the guy out of that group you want to sit, sure, go with it. But I like Adams as an okay thing, good enough to get you by. That's what I'm rolling with. Fundamental says Adams, Houston wide receiver between Dell and Nico. Nico gets the air yards. Dell's been getting volume. So whatever CJ Stroud's feeling that day, could be both anyways. And then Achane, and if you feel risky about either one, Achane or Adams, you can throw in McBride. If you're feeling, it feels like your gut's screaming McBride. So I don't want to go against your gut because that's the intuition is where you want to roll with. Let's see here. Thank you for the super chat, Stephen Drakes. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching too. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Thank you guys. I'm trying to work through all these questions. You guys are all awesome too. I'm trying to figure out where I was at, so I might just throw in thanks for the great input. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for watching. With JT and Pittman on bye, curious to fill 2 RB, 1 wide receiver, and 1 super flex. D-Hop, JSN. Let's see. D-Hop, JSN, Marquise Wilson. Let's see here. Barkley. We got another super chat coming in. Let me finish this one up. I like DeAndre Hopkins this week. He's getting a lot of air yards. Barkley safe. How many I got to fill in? So the whole roster, 1 wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins. I like this week. 2 running backs, Barkley safe. Singletary's in a matchup where if you're ever going to start him, it would be this week because it's against the Cardinals. Chandler, no Madison. And it's up in the air between Chandler and Singletary. And Connor. Barkley for sure because of the touches. Barkley. I want to look at him real quick. He had an injury issue. Saquon. Barkley good to go. And it's against Washington. Saquon for sure. Coin flip between the other running backs. You got Connor in there. Connor, Barkley. That's the safest. That's the safest route. I'd roll with that. And I like DeAndre Hopkins this week. I like him a lot. We have another super chat rolling in. Let me scroll to the bottom here and let's look at that. And it's right here at the bottom. Thank you, Saren's Rap. And also thank you, Livewire. I see another one in there. Thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. Love the sport. I love the channel. Thank you for watching. You really bring stats like no one else. I will say it's Achane is pronounced Achane. Went to A&M to confirm why I know this. What gets me hung up on Devin Achane, it's the announcers throughout the years. And you study these guys up for the draft and through high school. Then you hear somebody else and it's hard to keep up with. And then you're locked in trouble switching from that Washington football team, the Commanders, the Reds. That took me years to get with and say correctly and be able to speak off the top of the dome with. And Achane, I think Achane, I'm going to be stuck on that forever. I'm going to be stuck on that forever. I bet that's going to be something that might take me a couple years. It'll be on his next contract. That's probably when I'll get that for sure. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit, especially when I'm studying these guys. They're in high school and I hear their name one way, but it's really another. And that's when things really get sketchy because you're trying to get film on these guys in high school. You're watching the workouts. You're watching the drills. The information's not all the way there, but you're doing your best to put it together. So thank you for the super chat. Thank you for also you went to Texas A&M, School of Dat Win. Christine Michael, one of my favorite running backs, one of my favorite prospects to study. Also, and Dat Win, one of my favorite linebackers growing up as a kid as well. Thank you, Livewire, as well. Thank you for the super chats, guys. Much appreciated. I got a text in here. Let me see what's up with this. What is this? Just put sounds good and roll with it. I think I saw someone make fun of Caleb Williams here. I ain't got shit on my nails. This thing don't have shit on his nails either. I got that for $5. He's just gonna go up there in the collection. I like getting the college players. I don't know. I like collecting college stuff as well. I have some cool stuff. I'm gonna grab one real quick. This one, the Herschel Walker, is one of my favorites of the ones I've been getting. Herschel Walker with Minnesota, pretty solid right there with the 34. Helmet comes off. Let's see if he looks like himself. Not really, but that's back in the day. I got a Ryan Leaf because I thought it was funny. Oh, I thought it was funny. Look at this one. Just Ryan Leaf. Remember him yelling, "Knock it off" at the reporter back in the day? I thought it was hilarious. And you can catch them on eBay dirt cheap. Thank you guys for watching and everything. Let me get back to the questions here. Let's see here. Thanks, great input. I remember reading that. Was this a good trade? This is Mystical Mixes non-PPR Chase, Kyren Williams, and you got James Conner and Brandon Ayuk. I have Etienne Hall, Pacheco. If this was made today, I'm thinking about the quarterback situation with Cincinnati. We do not know what that's going to be like. That's really hard to project. Really, I imagine we're going to catch some up and downs, some ups and downs with Chase. Imagine so. And just retrospectively looking at this, I think James Conner's going to be pretty safe as long as he's healthy on the field. Conner's eventually going to be back. You don't know what you're going to get when he comes back. You got James Conner now. Brandon Ayuk, solid. You know what you're getting there. You know what you're going to get week to week. You know you're going to get target share. I think that's going to be it. I think it's okay. I think it's good. It feels bad. It doesn't feel good to trade Chase away. It doesn't. But also, you got to think, if you're rolling into the playoffs and you got bad quarterback play, you don't want that. You don't want to be knocked out in the first round because Chase doesn't hit because of that. And it's not Chase's fault. It's the quarterback's fault. So at least you know what you're getting into. You know what you have. And Connor's going to be getting touches. He's going to be getting opportunities. They should be running him to death. They should be, because he's an older running back. Cardinals ain't winning Super Bowl. No one's going to argue that. So I think you're in a good spot here. Should I give Dowdell a shot over STAU with Pacheco? Or STAU? STAU. I don't know what STAU is. I can shot or STA. I'll talk about Dowdell, though. Dowdell is a lottery ticket. And when I talk about lottery tickets, these are players that could go to zero pretty easily. But since this is a matchup, he's getting touches. He's been looking good. I could see him scoring a touchdown and scoring for you. Thing about Rico Dowdell is when you put him in there, I would expect the minimum, like 5-6 points. And then if I get a touchdown or so, then I'm calling it money. I would expect I would go in expecting the worst to happen and knowing this is a lottery ticket with Dowdell. That's what I would do with him this week. Any running back like that, any player that I come around and I say that guy's a lottery ticket, expect the worst out of him. And then just say, hey, that upside's there. If we hit on it, then that's great. But I got this one spot in my lineup. I'm going to gamble with it this week, and we'll see what happens. And we'll see what happens with it, and we'll roll with it like that. He is a major lottery ticket due to the matchup, due to him being talked about seeing more opportunities. That may not happen. You know how coaches are. Who to start? 1 QB, 2 RB, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. We got Murray, Herbert, Pacheco, B-Rob, Henderson. So 2 RB, we got Pacheco, B-Rob, Brian Robinson, Henderson, Chandler, Dell. Is there anything up with Pacheco? Because I feel like he's money. Week 11 against Philly. I get it. It's Philly. I get it. I would go Pacheco, Brian Robinson for the two running backs. Flex, let's see, wide receiver, Murray or Herbert. That's a good question there at the quarterbacks. Wide receivers, you got Dell, Nico, Lockett, Godwin. You got a good list there. A lot of players. Godwin, 90. You got San Francisco. One of the Texans wide receivers I feel good about. Probably one of those in the flex. Lockett might be out. Godwin's getting targets, but he's not in a great matchup. This is it. This is what I'm doing here. I'm going Pacheco. I'm going B-Rob. I'm going one of the Texans wide receivers. You're going to have to flip a coin on that. And then I would put Chandler in at flex. I'm flipping a quarter on the quarterbacks, but I'm going to look at the rankings real quick for you to give you 4 for 4's answer and see if I agree with it. But let's see here. Herbert and Murray next to each other, 9 and 10, same projection pretty much. I feel the safe. You know what? They're both safe. They're both good. You can flip a coin on the quarterbacks. I like Murray in the rushing upside. But you do what you want with the quarterbacks. Flip a coin, go with your gut. So I feel good with that. Next one, Live Wire. Part 1, playoff run, odds. Playoff run odds. So go off your odds here. 10 team PPR. Quarterback, Mahomes. Running back, Breece Hall. Justin Jefferson, Kelsey. Flex, Ramondre. Part 2. Let's see if 2 runs with 1 here. So the odds of this going deep into playoffs. What I think about this is I like Mahomes. You got Steady Eddie here at quarterback. We should see the production increase. They got to start slinging a little deeper. There's Tony starting to get a little healthier. Breece Hall, solid running back. ETN, solid at running back. A.J. Brown, and then you got Justin Jefferson once he starts getting healthy again with Kelsey. I think your odds are very good. You got Brown's defense. You got DeAndre Hopkins there, who's hitting with Levis. And Hopkins is a little bit more of a lottery ticket, but those air yards, though, like he'll have splash weeks. He's getting 140 air yards a game. I think you have a good run here. I think you have good odds to have a deep run in the playoffs with part 1 there. I think you do. I like those. And then we're going on to part 2. Bench, Gabe Davis, Taysom. Oh, this is the same team. This is a 10-teamer. And the thing about the 10-teamers, you need to have a little bit more upside. I think you have great upside on that team. I think you do. I think you have great upside. And you got a solid depth. And I can tell you've been working the waiver wire because I see Charbonnet, I see Warren, I see Chandler. I think you got a great team. Great team. There's the Peter Shaver with the Caleb Williams. I talked about Caleb Williams a little bit. Would you mind having Puka, Kupp, and Kyren on the same team? I currently have Puka, Kyren, but looking to get an elite wide receiver. I wouldn't mind having all 3. I feel like Stafford in there just spams those 2 anyways. And I feel like matchup, you never know which one's really going to hit. I wouldn't mind that. Kyren, same way, kind of. Just those 3 good at running back. If I can do a package and get another stud wide receiver and I like to schedule them forward, I'm cool with that too. So I don't mind it. I'd have them on the same team, especially with Stafford back and being healthy. I'm cool with that. Would you trade Tyreek and Swift for Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek and Swift for Christian McCaffrey? Hey, slow down. Would I make that trade? Got Mahomes Cup. So Tyreek versus Christian McCaffrey, and then you got Swift and Devonta Smith. So I think that's a great trade. I like Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's super safe. I think that's super even with Tyreek and Christian McCaffrey. I think with it being the running back there, I always lean towards the running back in those situations. Swift and Devonta, I think you're good with that as well. I think Devonta Smith's going to be in some games where they're going to have to throw it. Swift's solid at running back, but the difference between those 2 points, they're going to be close. I think you're all right with that trade. I think you're good. They need a wide receiver, but I'm not too pressed into trading. If you're not pressed into trading, you want to keep Tyreek, you're good too. Saquon, Kittle, Connor, Dotson, Myers, Hollywood, Hunt. I think you're even Steven with Tyreek and Christian McCaffrey. It really depends on what you want to do. Honestly, you're playing Russian roulette with their health too. Like the one that stays healthy throughout the rest of the season, if one gets hurt, that's the one that's going to win. I think they're both good pieces. DeAndre Smith and Devonta, they're a push too. I think you got to push there. And if you want Christian McCaffrey, get him. If you want to stay with Tyreek, stay with Tyreek. I think you're good with both. You skipped my question, bruh. D. Smitty. I probably did skip your question. Is it the one right there below it, though? Did you ask it again? You're serious. I probably did skip like 4 questions. Okay. Let's see where you're at. You're up there somewhere. I probably did because I went to the super chat. Let's see. My RBs are Kamara, Pollard. Would you trade for Eckler? Would I trade for Eckler? I wouldn't mind trading for Eckler. And would I trade one of those running backs in there with it? If I can pull it off of Pollard, for sure. It depends on what I had with it. Would I go after Eckler? Be nice if I can pay for it. If I can get it in trade, I would. I would definitely do that. Pollard be the main one I'd be trying to trade right now. I think he'll have a nice game this week against Carolina. That might boost his value. I think he's going to get touches in this game, but he's also been volatile. He's been up and down. Kamara's been getting good volume. Kamara's been pretty steady, especially in the passing game. Looking at everything, let me double check. I'm kind of just talking off memory too on Kamara. So Kamara's super steady. If I can do Pollard plus some pieces, yes. I just don't feel like that's capable of getting it done. Kamara is more likely, and that might make it more of a push and more of a gamble for you. Would I go after Eckler? I'd be fine with it. I'm cool with staying put with Alvin Kamara as well because he's getting so much work in the passing game right now. He's getting so much work. It doesn't even matter which one's at quarterback either. The schedule's fine. I'm cool with staying put with Kamara. It's kind of like a lateral move. But if I can package Pollard with some pieces there and get into that and get me Eckler, that would be the move I'd try to do. I would be praying. If I can't get it done today or tomorrow, I'd be praying that Pollard goes off against Carolina and make that deal happen. I'd be doing that instantly. That's what I'd definitely be doing. That's if that's what is in your mind. I have Monty and Gibbs. Should I? James Conner or James Cook? Conner or Cook here? I feel safer with Conner. Close calls, volume is king. That is so true. Peanut butter jelly time. Diggs and Najee for Olave. Murray, White. Diggs and Najee. Really depends on what's on waiver at quarterback. If you can stream with it and feel good about that, but you're also getting Rachaad White on the comeback and Olave. I think it's a fair trade, especially if the waivers suck at quarterback and you got to get it done. I like Olave. He gets air yards. He gets targets. Let's check his scoring here of his late. I honestly like Olave. I have no problems against him. He's had a dry route for a bit, but he scored a 21 in week 10, 16. You got bye week this week, 9, 12, 16. You're getting Murray on the back end. I'm fine with that deal. I'm fine. And you get Rachaad White. He's steady, especially if it's PPR. I think you're good with that. I think you're okay. I don't hate it. He lost Burrow. And you're getting a running back on the back end too, and Murray and White. So Rachaad White. So let's see here. JT and Pittman on bye. Curious. Did I answer that one? Yeah, I answered that one. So I'm going back down. Those are the ones I think I missed. So there's the super chat. I probably will miss some more due to going back. Good trade did that. Pacheco. Let's see. Okay, I made it there. Let's see. Is there any more super chats? I don't want to miss that. Thank you, Mike GP, for the super chat. Just saw that. Thank you so much. Wait, was that you? No, that was E. Smitty. You got questions down there? I'll answer them since you dropped the super chat. Sorry if I'm late on that. I just saw that there at the bottom. I was scrolling through these. There's a bunch of them. Let's see. Half hybrid. I think I'm on elite wide receiver away. Who could I target and what package could I give away? My roster is Mahomes, Fields, okay, Kamara, Bijan, Pollard, Kyren, McKinnon. We got Puka, Wilson, Deontay, Ridley, McBride. You're one elite wide receiver away. Let's look at the wide receiver. Let's just get the list out. Then we got the bye week wide receivers. Let's see here. So we're looking at like CD, AJ Brown. If you're looking at top tier elite wide receivers, CD Lamb's getting a lot of run. AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyreek Hill, those top guys, I like all of them. I think everybody likes all of them. Kamara's scoring hot right now. You're going to have to give something to get some, and I imagine it's going to be a running back and wide receiver. Like I said, for the other guy, I'm going to hope that Pollard hits against Carolina. I'm going to hope that Pollard hits against Carolina. You put him in the deal, and then at wide receiver, you're probably going to have to throw in one of those wide receivers to get it done at least. And Puka, Wilson, Deontay, Ridley. Ridley's been up and down. I don't know if that's going to be enough value to get it done. You need Deontay Johnson to do well against Cleveland. You got Garrett Wilson, which is a good name. It really depends on how your league values Garrett Wilson, though. I do not want to move Kamara, but I understand that he might be the piece that gets it done for you the easiest with the running backs. I'm really hoping that Pollard goes off against Carolina, and with your wide receivers, the one that has a good week will get it done, but I don't want to move on from Puka. I don't want to move on from Garrett Wilson. I mean, if you can go Pollard, Deontay, Ridley, tight ends, McBride, Watson, that's what I would see if I can go Pollard, Deontay, Ridley even. Or maybe Pollard, Kyren, Deontay. If you can package 3 for 1, it feels like a lot, but I'm not giving up Tyreek, Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, CD Lamb unless you're giving me something. You got to hope Pollard hits, though. It's going to be really hard to want to give up Kamara, but I feel like that's the piece in this puzzle. I think Kamara and Puka gets it done a lot closer, but I don't think I want to do that. Like, I want to inch towards that. But, like, if you really, really want to get it done for, like, a CD Lamb or a top guy like that, CD Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown. I like those guys. I'm shooting for that type of upside, unless you're talking about a little bit lower on the stud tier wide receiver train here. Yeah, I would see here. If Pollard goes off and then a package, maybe Pollard, Kyren, Deontay, Pollard, Kyren, Ridley, Pollard, Deontay, Ridley. Maybe one of those, maybe Pollard, Deontay, and if McBride goes off. Or Pollard, Deontay, if Muth gets targets and he's hurting at tight end. For either Lamb, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyreek Hill. If you want to go a little bit cheaper and he's still healthy, because it's up and down, Keenan Allen. If you want to go cheaper and buy on the low, Jamar Chase, due to the quarterback issue. and you can buy on the low and say Pollard goes off. Maybe you get that. That's a different one because now you're dealing with the emotion of that fantasy manager, and the value is going to always be Chase because he's elite. The fundamentals say that. But I don't know your home league. I don't know what that's like. I don't know how volatile that is. Jamar Chase could be a cheaper elite guy that can be volatile for you and catch at a discount. That's another option for you that when I'm looking at these wide receivers. DJ Moore, he'll be mixed in that bag for you. You got Cooper Kupp, but you already got Puka, but it really depends on what goes on this week with him, with Matthew Stafford back. You got Brandon Ayuk, who's a little cheaper. He could be a little cheaper. You can probably get it done. Again, I'm looking hard at Pollard because he's been so up and down right now, and he's got that sweet matchup against Carolina. That would be my big guy I'm trying to move. And then you got Jalen Waddle, high volume passing attack with the Dolphins. A little bit cheaper. Mike Evans has been getting a lot of air yards lately. Really depends on how elite you want to go. If you're going top tier like a Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, C.D. Lamb, you're paying up. You're paying up. I'm not giving them away. If you want to go a little cheaper, you might be able to get that deal done. Pollard and maybe another ancillary player to get that done. And you got to hope he hits. If not, maybe Bijan or something if you really want to move up on the wide receiver realm. If you really want to do that. But I'm eyeing Pollard hard. I know Kamara is a piece that's really going to help you get that deal done. I know that for sure, but I do not want that. The reason why it is because he's good. So I would hold off, but in negotiations, I know I'm paying a little something for that. Thank you, though, for the super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try and catch back up to these. I do not remember. I remember I was past that one super chat. Past there. That Tyreek trade. Here we go. I think it's April Girl 4118. So here we are. And either Tank or Debo. That's a good question. Let's see what 4-4's got because Debo. They had Debo at 25. Tank at 23. They're neck and neck, and they're both in good matchups because you throw on Tampa Bay, and that's what the Niners are probably going to do in this matchup. And you know Houston's going to be throwing the ball. You got Noah Brown out. It's a coin flip. My gut went to Tank Dell, but I'm going to recognize that one as a coin flip. And if your gut's going to Debo, cool, go ahead and roll with that. I'm going to go with Tank Dell. I think that's what my gut is calling. So for flex, you got Javonte Williams, Breece Hall, or A-Chan. I'm going to call A-Chan. PPR, thank you. Tough debate for me this week. Just one at flex. That's a good core of running backs. A-Chan coming back kind of makes things a little bit messy. I think Hall's the safest. A-Chan for upside. Hall's the safest, though. A-Chan for upside. And, again, reason why for just upside is because he's come back from the injury. We don't know the usage. Probably going to mix a bag with him and Mostert. He's probably still going to get some touches. So I see that happening. Let's see here. So here we go. Past the Smitty. Angel Nunez. Diggs. Najee for Olave. Diggs. Najee for Olave, White, and Kyler. I answered this one, didn't I? Burrow's hurt. I said Olave, White, Kyler. No, wait. Hurt our RBs. I did not answer this one. I like Olave, White, Kyler, especially Burrow's hurt. Olave, White, Kyler. That's what I'm rolling with. Hey, perfect. Shed Ninja, what's up? What's going on? I've seen you in the live chats, probably every single one. What's going on? Thank you for watching. Thank everybody. I traded Godwin and Stroud for Chase and Lockett. My team is Herbert, good quarterback. Pollard, Swift, CD, Waddle, really good at wide receiver. I think that's solid. I think that's really solid. I think your team's solid. Yeah, your wide receiver spot's sure up. Even though Burrow got hurt, I mean, Chase is still going to be Chase. It might be not as consistent, but he's still going to be Chase. He's still going to be getting targets. Still going to have some games for you. And then you got CD, Waddle, Addison as well to go with it. You can play around with that, especially. And you got Herbert at quarterback. So you dealt away Stroud. And, yeah, I think that's a good move. Start 3, sit 1. David Montgomery, Jerome Ford, Jalen Waddle. That's good. That's a good debate to have. That's a good set of players to have to worry about. I mean, obviously, I think you already know. So you're in a good. You can start any of them. Let's see. I'll double check Jalen Waddle here. I'm gonna double check him real quick. My Mac is about to run out of battery. So after this question, I'm gonna double check and make sure I'm removed from injury report. This might be my last question, guys. Let's see here. Let's see here. My battery's about to go out. There's 4 guys here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Waddle for sure. I'm fading Jerome Ford because of the matchup. Waddle, Montgomery, Walker. Waddle, Montgomery, Walker's. And I am about out of battery. It's saying that it's going to take me out of here. I think by the time I find a charger, I'm done. Make sure there's no super chats. Yeah. Nice seeing you, Perfect Ninja. Nice seeing you guys. I have to roll. The battery is about to go dead on my MacBook. It's been a fun night. Sorry I missed some of your guys' questions here. I missed some of them because I got to roll out. So A1, Kenny McIntosh is good in the passing game. He's a good stash play for Dynasty for long term, but he's cheap. He's a guy to monitor. Also, I know he gets a lot of buzz. I've done some videos on him over the summer. So if he does hit in any way, shape, or form, he's going to catch a little bit more of a value bump in the trade markets if you follow like Dynasty Twitter and stuff. So that's something you may want to look at there. So I feel like he's worth a stash. Let's see here. Was this another super chat that I missed down here? GP, hi bro. Okay, I did that one. Trade Godwin for Stroud, Chase Pollard, Madison. I'm going to answer some questions really fast, but I'm about out of battery. I'm about dead here. I like Kenny McIntosh as a cheap stash as a taxi squad guy for Dynasty. Let's see. Bang, bang, Rome. Let's see here. Start 1, Dave Montgomery, Jerome. I'm missing some, but I'm also going scattered on here because I'm about to run out. All right. Half PPR. Would you trade Tyreek and Swift for Christian McCaffrey? I already answered them. All right. My battery's about dead. I have to roll out. I want to thank you guys for watching, sticking with me. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next live. I'm about out of battery. I'll be out here longer. I'm going to be out for the weekend. So I'll catch you on live probably sometime next week. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.